Hey, welcome everyone. My name's Belinda. For anyone who doesn't know me, welcome to the class. I'm going to assume you're all well, healthy, and able to participate today. If there's anything that's going on with your body, it's always good to come and have a chat to me, but I'm going to assume that you're all good. Lots of good smiles all around. Okay. So, we're actually going to start just down to the back of the mat. I tend to like starting in child's pose because I think it just really allows you to arrive on the mat. So, if we can just, I'm going to turn this way. You guys just allow your either narrow or wide, it's up to you. And we're going to extend the body all the way down, plant the forehead, and just start with a nice inhalation, feeling a little rise of your chest. And then exhale, let it fall away as you deepen that stretch right into your upper back. Around the hip area, inhale again. And just feel that space that you've created, and as you exhale, just that nice calming, that soothing quality now in the breath to the movement. So inhale and then match it with your exhale. So we're going to take some little baby circles. We're going to come around up first on our right side. If you wanted to check it out first, you're realistically just coming up and around on the inhale, and exhale, you're going to drive yourself back through the hips, back through the center. So if you feel you need to bring your knees in closer or wider, you just adjust according to your body today. Let's ensure that we're taking that beautiful big in-breath and that circular movement right around our spine, right around our hips, through our shoulders. It's a really beautiful way of warming up in a calm, soothing way. As we do a couple more on this side, just paying attention to any tight spot you've got, and really just taking care. So as you come around on this next one, come back right down into child's pose. Let's take another in-breath. I'd just like you just to lift a little, plug your fingertips in, and then exhale. See if you can drag the hands out a little further. So we start to really settle into this pose right across the upper neck and the underarms as well as right throughout your spine before we take off to the other direction. So just when you're ready, quietly rise, move around towards the left, inhale the breath, and then over towards the right. So you're just circling in the opposite direction. We're not worrying too much about how we look, it's more about how you feel. So if you feel you want a little bit more hip activation, then certainly drive the hips a little further back over the tips of the heels. Careful not to come too far forward though. We always want to just align the shoulders to the wrists for safety. Beautiful. Inhale to exhale, nourishing the spine, cultivating heat in the body and preparing us for our yin yang flow today, based around Vinyasa, yoga. Okay, so we're just going to go a couple more times, one or two, depending on where you're at. Whatever feels balanced, of course. And then you're just going to drive yourself back all the way to child's pose. And this time, if you can just allow your arms now to reach back behind you. You've got the choice of just landing, palms facing up, knuckles resting, or take this elevated stretch, clasping the hands and just starting to now open the shoulder area a little bit more. So just sneak the arms up towards the rooftop, but allow the pressure to come down through the tailbone, so you're really just alleviating stress through the lumbar region of your spine. So the stretch is twofold. And then simply just let those arms, if you've given them the risen position, just come back all the way, and we all meet back with our knuckles resting, palms facing up, just nurturing the body for one or two more breaths. And then reaching your arms back out in front. I'd like you to take them a little further outside your shoulders, because we're going to do a couple of striking cobras. Now if you do have any shoulder issues, perhaps you might like to just hold it here in child's pose, only if you do really feel that there would be extra stress on your shoulder area. So let's drive the chest through, stay as close to the floor as you can for striking cobra. So your tail comes up really high, you drive the heart through the space, and then keep your arms out, fingertips now wide, and then lift on up with a nice modification of your cobra. Exhale, drive back, hands come just outside shoulder distance as well, and then push yourself back into child's pose. So I'm going to do a couple of these just to start warming us up a little bit more through our spine. So drive your chest through. We might add on a little bit extra this time. As you come through, you can either keep them here and just elevate this way, or you can readjust if that feels better for you. Good. Exhale down. Now stay here. Clasp your hands at the back and just take a baby lift here. Drawing the chest up off the floor, pressing pubic bone down. Eye gaze comes forwards. Exhale, just allow everything to settle. Hands just sneak underneath your shoulders and then push yourself back. And the option here would be to tuck the toes as well and take a little bit more of a stretch through the soles of your feet. So it should feel really good as your tail sits back onto those heels. If you took that option, just untuck the toes, take a moment here in child's pose before we start. One more striking cobra. So just sneak your hands a little wider, protect the shoulders as you skim the surface of your mat. Come on through. Remember, you can adjust your hands or you can keep them tucked in with the baby cobra. Good. Exhale down. This time take your arms out in front, so upper locus from this position, 10 toes down the floor. Inhale to a V. Good. Celebrating that big open posture. Exhale, come down. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders or a little bit wider, and then tuck if you wish to stretch your feet as you push back. Good, and just anchoring down as much as you can. Good, now we are going to move toes, sneak underneath. Good, shifting your weight forwards onto the hands, walking them in a little closer, and then shoulders to wrists. We're going to take our first chaturanga, so elbows stay in close as we lower down. Once again, you've got the choice, modified cobra out wider, little baby cobra, or perhaps you'd like to elevate now into your upward facing dog. Good, exhale, come all the way down. Reach your hands back behind you as we're warming the shoulders here. Draw the shoulders back, 10 toes down the floor, upper locust. Good, exhale down. Feel the energy shift. Hands come underneath your shoulders. And you're going to push yourself back with the option to tuck your toes once again. But this time we're going to come all the way up. So if you didn't tuck your toes, you might like to gently do that now. And then we're going to rise, lifting the knees off the floor, lifting the tailbone into your first downward facing dog. So go ahead and just walk that dog out, one heel at a time, gently pressing it into the earth. Just moderately warming up the body in a very gentle, passive way. Shoulders should feel a little warmer now. Good. So just a couple more each side, just till you feel as if the calves are now a little massaged out and your hamstrings feel a little bit longer. Good, and then press evenly in through the heels. Good. We're going to bend the knees just a little bit and then step your right foot between your hands. Good, lowering through the back knee, and we're just going to take a little small twist. So right arm reaches up to the sky. Good, now we're going to float that right arm back over our shoulder. And if we can, open up at the same time. So there's a little bit of balance there. Yeah, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, just keep your hand on the floor. We're going to swing the right arm back over and come back to where we came from. Opening up a little bit more. Stretch your fingertips. Good, beautiful back opener. Good, right hand comes to frame right foot. And we're going to step ourselves back to down dog and start on the other side. Breathe out first, decompress. Bend your knees and step your left foot between the hands. As you come gently down, help it if you need to. Lower your back knee, smooth toe, right hand stays under shoulder. Inhale as we navigate our way up. Beautiful vertical lift. Now reach that left arm behind as if you're saying goodbye to someone, and then if you can, elevate at the same time, so arms are out beautifully wide. Now that captivating wave as it comes back again, right hand to the floor, and then generate a little bit more heat. Lift, stretch your fingertips, wind it back, breathe out, breathe in, reset, hands frame front foot, tuck toe, push back down dog, so juice up the back thigh and drive it back. Good, we're going to repeat that again with an option to go a little bit further if you wish, or maintain what you already know as base level. Right foot steps to the top of the mat, back thigh stays lifted, right arm rises. Now if you're going to take this one in this lifted posture, just pay attention because you want to step your back foot in just a touch, because you're going to wind it up. Good. and then wind it back. Good. That's a really good way of opening your body, but also practicing some balance early on. Left arm comes back down, back to where we came from. Take advantage. Big breath in, open. Exhale, close it down. Frame the front foot. Tuck and push back. Breathe out. Let's get ready for the left side. Take your time. Bend your knees. Left foot steps to top of mat. Brace belly. Good. You can pop your knee down if you still need to, or keep it risen. Lift the top arm. If you want to wind it back with me in this lifted posture, step your foot in just a little bit more, so when you come on up, you've got good balance. Gazing over your back arm. Fantastic. Look at that beautiful balance. Sweep it back over the top. Right hand comes directly to floor, so we can then open up a little more. It's always body exploration, isn't it? Just an expression of who you are in all of these poses. Hands frame front foot, and step back to downward facing dog. Breathe out. Good. Now we're going to pop our knees down on the floor directly. We're going to lift our right arm up, and we're going to give our shoulders a quick little breather. So come and thread the needle underneath the left arm. Good. Take a moment just to unload, decompress through the shoulder, through the neck. Getting ready to climb high again. Inhale, push floor away, right arm rises. And then replace one for the other. Right hand comes down. Immediately pick up your left arm so it feels more like a flow. One movement into the next. Press underneath, tailbone sits onto the heels. We look under that space that we've just created. Breath moves out of the body. Inhale, we stack it high again. We protect our back as we move through. Good strong core muscles. And the hand comes back down. Good work. Shift your hands forwards and take a nice big stretch here. If you wish, you could tuck the toes for your chaturanga, or keep it on your knees and lower yourselves down. Modified cobra, baby cobra, or full upward facing dog. Chest opens and expands. Exhale, lightly melt to the floor. Hands reach around the back, clasp, shoulders peel back. If you want to take a full one this time, you could elevate through the legs as well. Heart opens up. Good. Exhale. Good to hear you all breathing. Good sign, there is life out there. Hands under shoulders, tuck. Push the toes back so you get a good foot stretch first. So it's nice to unload. And then lift your knees, strong through your core muscles as you just project your hips and sit bones to rib drop, down dog. Well done, everyone. Bend your knees, right foot steps to the top of the mat. Knee down or thigh lifted. Now we are going to lift up our right arm, just as we did before. So here's your option for base level. I don't mind if you just continue with that. Good. Now this time when you come on up, you're going to step your back foot a little bit. You're going to wind it up. Some of you may just come to this posture, and others may advance now to hand to back thigh, peering over the back shoulder. Just a deeper stretch through the front of your hip. Beautiful. Take advantage as you windmill it back like a cartwheel. Right arm comes back up to the roof. This time I give the advantage of popping your knee down. Try this. Turn your right foot out and then open up. So now we're catching the hip as well as the spine. Otherwise you can just stay with the standard knee planted, arm risen. So all these nice wonderful modifications allows you to work to your own level. Bring it back again, reset that foot, nice and parallel, frame the front foot, tuck and push back the down dog, breathe out. Let's get ready for the left side. We should be feeling nice and warm now. Brains are awake, left foot steps through to the top of the mat. Knee down or thigh lifted, twisted lunge. You wish to go that little bit further, you step your back foot in just a touch to reset. You wind it back and perhaps you just want to stay here, or you continue back. So hand to back thigh, gentle support, gazing over your back shoulder. Getting that deeper stretch through front of hip flexor, right side. Now windmill all the way over. It's like a cascading effect. Should look really graceful. Left arm rises, back knee comes down, smooth toe, option to open to 45. And then as the hand is driving into the earth, we get to open our hips. The glorious hips that like to be open and not rigid, as we allow our emotions to flow more rather than holding on to congestion. Hands come back. There's always a rhyme and a reason for everything we do in yoga. physicality plus all the other beautiful aspects. Alright, so you've got a choice. If you'd like to wind it down, pop your knees down and have a little rest in child's pose. Otherwise, take a flow with me. Come forwards to high plank or knee supported plank. Lower down through chaturanga, elbows stay close. Modified cobra or upward facing dog as you flow with breath. Everyone come on down. We're going to take our hands, peel our heart off the floor. You can go half locust, or if you're feeling willing and able, ignite the fire from crown to tailbone up through little toes. Beautiful. Lower down, breathe out. Hands shift, energy shifts. Tuck toes, push back. Get that nice, decent stretch into the soles of your feet. And then let's unify breath and movement as we wave on up. Hips rise, down dog. Okay, it's time for us to take a little walk. So our feet are going to come and join our hands. So just walking gradually to the top of your mat. As you come up today, can you bring your toes and your heels to touch? Can you rise onto the right ball of your toe and keep your right knee bent for me? Left hand stays on the floor, and of course you could just stay in this pose without going any further. You could place your right hand to your hip and open up your right shoulder, or of course we take the vertical stretch. So you're getting the best of both worlds here. Right arm rises, working into the hamstrings, and a little gentle twist to the spine. Let's close it down. Plant your left heel, right hand comes down, and we're going to slide on up, flat back extension before we do the other side. Inhale, exhale. Right hand stays on the floor. Bend, left knee, push into ball of left toes. Option 2, hand to hip, eye gaze looks out the window, or take advantage, arm rises, so steady your breath and your balance. Let's close it down. Breathe out. Breathe in. Graze the shin bones, flat back extension. As you breathe out this time, cascade everything down and separate your feet a little wider. Bend your knees a little bit more and cup the elbows and just rock gently side to side. As much or as little as you need for your hamstrings today. Can we pause over on our left side? Can you just exaggerate the stretch down the left side now? And I want you all to take a big inhalation, like you were totally letting go now. Just see if you can drop the shoulders, drop down into that left side more. As you feel the heaviness of the crown of your head. Loosen it up. That's it. A little softness now as you then go back to your rock. Over the tops of those thighs, and then come on over to the right side. Take a breath in, feel a gentle rise, and then everyone exhale, drop in. Heavy through neck, shoulders, crown of head. Come back to center, and then just lightly let go of your elbows. Good. So if your feet are hip width apart, just bend the knees for me. Forearms come on top as we now look forwards. Excellent. We've got a little bit of a theme going on with opening up the shoulders today. By doing that, you open up your heart, which is really important. So clasp your hands, roll the shoulders back, and we're just going to catapult ourselves forward. So just driving down through the heels, allowing the arms to just rise above us naturally. We're going to get a beautiful stretch through the shoulders, as well as through the middle back. Now to help you up, bend the knees a little bit and press those knuckles towards your tailbone as you hinge yourself up from the hips. That's it, so chest is still proud. Come on up, all the way, heel toe together, and then drive it back. Good, and then hands come back to prayer position. Well done, just take a couple of breaths. Inhale to exhale. You might just separate the heels just a fraction. So you're really grounded into Mother Earth. Tuck the tailbone, thumbs press into the heart space. Spread your fingertips wide as you make that connection. And then peel the shoulders back. So your energy now is going up as well as down, so from earth to heaven. Let's take a deep breath in. Separate the hands now. Let's reconnect. That's it. Bend your knees and exhale all the way out, folding the body in half. Crown to floor. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, soften down. Hands to floor. Let's step ourselves back to downward facing dog, one foot at a time. Driving through the heels. Good, just loosening up through the neck and the shoulders. Take a moment or two. Bend your knees. Right foot steps to the top of the mat. Good, so essentially we're going to lift up the right arm, just as we've done before. If we can, sweep it on back, maybe pausing here or continuing on down to the back of your thigh. Good, when you come back up this time, doesn't matter if you're supported on your knee, can you just allow the right arm to sweep and just come into crescent pose? So we're squaring the hips to the front. Well done. Back heel comes to the floor. Square the hips to the front for warrior one. Plant your palms together. Inhale. Think of like you're wearing a wetsuit, so everything narrows to the top, but we want to drop down. Really make those legs work for us. Good. Hands come to heart space. Good. We're going to first of all take a little twist. Left elbow to right thigh. Plant the palms. Push down. Open chest. So if you're down on your knee, if you feel more comfortable, you could release the back knee. But let's see if we can just take advantage of this now. Now all together with your palms still together, you're simply going to face the opposite direction and open to warrior two. Well done. Making us all think today. Keep pitching that right knee out to the little toe. Square the hips across to the outer gym. Keep a good strong back leg for me and then open both your arms now. Make peace. Draw your body weight forward, so grazing over the top of that right thigh. As the elbow comes down to the thigh bone, sweep left arm down towards the floor and rise to extended warrior. Eye gaze looks up. Good. We're going to float on back, so you're going to spin the wheel all the way up to peaceful warrior. Good. Everyone come back to the heart space. Hands to heart. Good, so you want those hips to still be facing that direction. Good, draw your body weight over to the right thigh and then tip so the hands are still at the heart. Good, and then it's up to you. You can either stay in this posture or you can open both your wings and take that challenge in extended warrior. Now if it gets too deep for you, please just plant the forearm on the thigh. Looking down towards your floor as your left arm comes, you want to separate the hands, frame the front foot, pivot on the ball of your back toe, and step back to down dog. Well done, everyone. Once again, in between these stronger postures that we do through some of our strong warriors, if you feel you need a breather, you want to relax a little more, pop your knees down, restore your balance, and your body's balance going to child's pose. Otherwise, come to flow with me. Shoulders to wrists, breath moves in. Exhale, breath moves out. Baby cobra modified or full upward facing dog. Exhale down. Clasp your hands to the back. Half locust or full locust. Inhale. So feel the length. But it's very invigorating. Whole body movement. Exhale all the way down. Hands come under shoulders. Tuck toes. Have that little breather in child's pose. And this is like a taxi ride, because I'm going to pick anyone up that was in this position, but it looked like you all went with me, so that's great. And then rise on up to down dog. Press heels to floor. Alright, let's get ready. Bend knees, left foot steps to the top of the mat. Okay, left arm rises. Twisted lunge. Remember that back knee could come down if you needed to. Let's sweep on up. An option to stay or to continue. Flow back, hand to back thigh, looking over back shoulder. Good. So stay strong through the abdominal region. You're just going to re-square the hips, let the left arm drop in and rise on up to crescent pose. Good, now back heel comes to floor, square the hips to the front wall, palms press, inhale. So you've got that wetsuit on, nice and narrow through your waist. See if you can sneak those hips around. Good. Sometimes it helps to bring your back foot in a little closer, I find. And then you can really drive weight through front leg as long as knee is stacked above hip and back thigh activated through your glutes. Hands come to the heart space. Good. So you're feeling nice and strong here. You just simply want to come forwards. Draw your right elbow to your left thigh, palms press. So you're only just gazing out. This is a nice stretch for the spine. Good. We're going to rise on up. Hands come back to your heart. Turn yourself to face the yellow wall. Hands still stay there. So you're in the warrior 2 position with your feet. So notice now how the knee is just stacked above the ankle. Just turn it out to the little toe. Square your hips. Good. Let's make peace. Arms open. Breathe out, everyone. That's a sigh of relief. Alright, shifting your weight forwards, elbow to thigh, sweep the arm under like you're brushing it through the water, causing that ripple-on effect. Eye gaze looks up. Softening through the body. As you open the arms, wind it back and come into peaceful warrior. See if you can C-shape your spine a little bit more. Trust your back thigh to hold you there. Mounds of the big toe pushing down. And where do you find the softness? Through the face, through the gaze, through the mind, and through the heart. So it's a full mind-body connection. Good work, everyone. Bring yourself back. Prayer position. So you really want to square up from here, pushing the feet away from each other and just shift your weight forwards. So the elbow will just have to go onto the thigh. It's the best place for it. You can either stay here and really locking into those inner thigh muscles like little magnets, or you can then open the arms, reaching that top arm up, finding those wings. A little bit of balance here, looking down to the floor, sweeping everything over now as you shift. Pivot on the ball of your back toe and step yourself back to down dog. That was a very strong sequence. So either choose to land your knees, take child's pose approach, or come with me. Shoulders shift forward to the wrists, eye gaze ahead of you. Exhale, land gently, elbows stay close. Cobra modified or upward facing dog, and you can play around with that. Now we're going to stay down this time, just for a little rest, a little restore. We're going to shift the left hand in front. Bend your right knee. Take hold of your right foot. Now for some of you, maybe your quad stretch might be more pleasant, in which case you're just going to draw the heel in and just play with that a little bit until you get a good stretch. If you'd like to come into that half bow pose, push the floor away, almost like you're doing the dancer's pose on the ground, and push your foot back into your hand as you open the chest at the same time. Beautiful. Lower down. Take a moment, let go of the foot, clasp your hands before, like you did before. Roll shoulders back, half or full locust. Let's rise and shine. Open the heart space, pointing the toes, exhale down. Getting all the benefits, vitality that moves through your body, all that life force energy. Right hand shifts forwards, bend your left knee, grab hold of the top of the foot. Once again, if you feel you just want to stretch your quad, you could even shift over to your side body. Is absolutely okay. That's better for you. Or I find this one good because you're in a laying down position, so just heel towards your bottom. Or plug in, inhale, rise on up, push foot away, open chest. So we've been working a lot on our upper locusts. Have very open hearts today, and lower yourselves down. This time I want you to travel from the front. So our arms are going to rise. Once again, it can be just a half locust, so 10 toes on the floor, just lifting the upper body. Or if you feel you want to complement it with the back body, lift, rise. And then exhale. Well done. Push the floor away. But don't get too comfy because right arm's going to come straight underneath. Shift back. A little release for your shoulders. Nice calming approach when you've done some of those locusts and bow poses. Let's reach right arm back down the mat. Just notice how it's probably longer than your left arm because you've just stretched it. Open the knees if you need to, and then sneak your left arm underneath with a little window of opportunity. Breathe out. And then opportunity to do both, or just come back to child's pose. If you wish to do two at a time, you're going to slide your right arm underneath, you've got a little cross here, and then you're just going to gently just drop the head between. Just take your time with this stretch. It's a very delicate one, just into the top of the anterior deltoids. And of course, if you choose this option, I always suggest it's nice to balance it, so you might just kind of take a breath, like your fingertips come wide, and then recross on the other side is always good, just so it's nice and balanced. Inhale and exhale, feeling everything open in the back of the heart as we breathe three-dimensionally. And wherever you are, just draw the hands back down your mat. Big breath out, big breath out. And we're going to slide ourselves back on up, so tuck your toes at the back, lift your chest, press your heels back and down, all the way out through down dog. Alright, so you've got the opportunity to take a couple of little walks to get to the top of the mat, or bend your knees and hop to the top of the mat, whatever works for you. Good. So we're going to take a halfway look up, and then exhale, fold. So as you come down this time, remember you want to bend the knees first. Eye gaze looks forwards, forearms to thighs. Clasp your hands at the back, roll your shoulders, and let's take a dive. Inhale, chest moves over the tops of your thighs, arms rise to the side. And then we're going to gently lift our bodies, but protect your spine on the way up. So what I do is I bend my knees, press into my heels, use my arms to help me up, making sure you're hinging from the hips. So it's all about safety. Good, and if you want to anchor toes heels together and continue on back. So squeeze the buttocks and drop into a little baby back bend. Good, hands come back to meet you in the center. Be up for some balance. No one smiled back at me. Just a little short one, because you know it's really good for your all halfway. So we're going to keep our weight in our left foot. I might face you just briefly here. So your weight will be in the left foot. And we're just going to take a little right angle pose. So you can keep your toe, so it's not too scary today. You can keep your toe in contact with the floor. You can bring it over the top of your shin. The idea is just to keep the knee pointing out, the hips level. And of course, those of you who want to do it's a modified lotus standing up. So you just will catch the foot, breathe it over the top. I'm going to give you the option though to bring it a little higher today. Use your other hand to support you. His fingers there on the big toe just to pull it back a little bit. And hands come back. So don't be too worried if you can't get up here. If it's just the shin bone, it's never on top of the knee, then that's okay. And if it needs to be toe down, that's okay too, because you're still opening your hips. So where we're going to go with this one, so once the foot is risen and your thigh bone is out and you feel quite square and level in the hips and the hands are here, I'd like you just to try those aeroplane wings. And if you wanted to melt down, you could. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the hands down. So this is the most advanced option here. Fingertips might brush the floor briefly, keeping that right knee out. As you rise again, lift your arms above your head all the way. Beautiful. And then bring yourself back to peace and harmony. And if you need to now disembark, you can just help that foot back down. The right foot comes back to the floor. Just give a little gentle walk out. You only have to do that one more time. Alright, shoulders peel back. So just remember the setup would be anchor, take the foot across, big toe, shin bone, or lift it on up. Remembering now I'm your opposite because I'm facing you, but and as you bring it around, if you need just to adjust it, just to maneuver the thigh bone out. Make sure the knee is not pulling. If it is, you need to flex the toe a little bit, and maybe even a little micro knee bend. Now, often what happens is the tail sits out. You need to just tuck it under, core is active, hands to heart space. Magic. Okay, so we're going to find our aeroplane wings. Okay. You ready for flight? Let's come on down. So So chest moves forwards with a nice flat back, so you're integrating a lot more stretch now in that piriformis and outer hip. Maybe the arms can come with you now all the way to the floor. And we're going to soak up the goodness, push the floor away, lift the chest all the way up to the sky. Good, and hands make peace back at the heart as we then disembark. Bring it on up and down. Walk your feet out, well done. Toes, little separation through the heels. Drive the heart up, tuck the tail, and let's drop into the earth. Inhale to rise, lead with your heart. That's it, bend the knees, exhale to fold. It's like you're letting all that sunshine come all the way through the crown, all the way down through your body, igniting you with fire. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, soften down. Hands to the floor, bend your knees and step back 1 foot at a time to downward facing dog. Pressing back through your heels, and we're going to take a nice gentle flow or knees to floor child's pose. You get to choose. Shoulders to wrists as we come forwards. Exhale, knees or toes as we lower down. Go cobra modified or upward facing dog. Exhale all the way down. Excellent. Now tucking your toes to prepare for us. We're just going to go straight back in to child's pose. Then stretch through the soles of your feet. And then up once again through downward facing dog. Press through the heels. And now that we've opened the hips just a little bit, I'd like you just to keep your left foot stamped on the floor. Right leg rises for three-legged dog. Good. Now let's see if we can bend that knee, and if it's possible, can you see if your big toe, your right big toe, can move up and over towards your left shoulder? So now you're starting to open up the hip. You can actually look underneath your right arm. Good. So it's just dangling there. Now we're going to move this right leg through to pigeon. So square the hips, looking forwards. Right knee moves forwards. And we're going to take just one breath here in pigeon. And we'll be coming back up again. So inhale, exhale, decompress. Maybe the fingertips can just plug in. Soak up the goodness. Let your hips just get a little gentle release. Before we rise again, inhale, lift your chest. Replant your hands, tuck your toe, and guess what? We're going to come and suspend that leg once again, all the way up. Big toe towards left shoulder, opening up through right side. Good, so we're going to do that one more time. We're going to sweep the right knee through. So if we square the hips, right knee to right thumb. You know, if you put a block there or a towel, you know, you could wedge it underneath that hip. Kneecap 5 toes back. Inhale and exhale. Just allowing your chest and your heart to come down. Relaxing through your neck and shoulders. Feeling that in-breath to out-breath soothe you just a little more today. Maybe a little subtle shift side to side in your hips. Good. Planting your hands. Pressing the floor away. Eye gaze looks up. Tuck your toe. Step in just a little bit because you want to make sure those hands are shoulder width apart. Strong, steady and stable. To lift it up. Good. And hook that big toe over towards the left shoulder. Now I'm going to give some of the option just to place that right foot back down in down dog and maybe even take a complete load off in child's pose. So that's going to be your easy option. If you know wild thing, you're just going to pivot over on your left ball of toe, right ball of toe finds the floor outside your mat, lift up to the sky. Look at you guys go. Right arm comes back down. I always like to throw a little curveball in, don't I? Right leg comes on up. I know, sneaky. Stretch the leg all the way to full potential and lower the foot down through downward facing dog. So I do recommend, if you know that your shoulders need a little bit of a breather, just pop your knees down, big toes touch in child's pose, or come with me to flow. Inhale, shoulders to wrists. Exhale, decompress, let it go. So diffusing the stress each time. Your in-breath fills you up, fills the space. The out-breath, you let it go. That's the surrendering part. Tuck the toes, get a stretch through the soles of your feet, so tailbone sits over the top of your heels. And then we get this beautiful stretch through back body. Inhale to downward facing dog. Pressing heels to floor. Well done. So left leg rises high to sky. So as we bend this knee, it's like we want to touch left big toe to right shoulder. So you really want to keep the arms strong, like two magnetic forces pulling the inner arms together. This might allow you to look underneath that left forearm just to open the hip. Okay, you're getting ready for a little recovery, but still an active stretch. Looking forward to square the hips and come on through. Left knee to left thumb, pigeon. Kneecap 5, toes down at the back. Or whatever way you need to adjust yourself. Plug fingertips in, inhale breath. Diffuse stress, exhale, come on down. And we're just going to wait it out a little bit here. Get into a comfy posture, maybe forehead to earth. Once again, we're just relieving ourselves of any tension that gets caught in our hip area. It's one of our support networks, obviously, the two hips. We often find when we're really tight through the hips, we can sometimes even have lower back issues, glute troubles, even sciatica. So it's really important to really release and let go. Push palms down. Inhale to rise. Chest moves up. So strong through the arms, tucking the toes, shifting it in just a little bit as we then re-navigate our way upstairs. And we hook that big toe. It's the illusion, of course. It's like you want to visualize it coming over towards our right shoulder. Alright, we're going again. Inhale, look forwards. Knee pulls through. Strong core muscles. Into pigeon. Kneecap 5, toes down at the back. So it becomes a seamless flow of breath and movement. Inhale. Exhale, make space for your heart to settle in. Forehead to the earth, making connection with third eye, so just above your eyebrows. So we get a little more clarity of thought. Sometimes it can get a little congested up there. Lots of static in the attic, lots of mental thought processes. So we're just allowing that just to be free. Now we're going to rise again, shine through the heart, inhale to lift. Just navigate your way, hands under shoulders, tuck the toe, push on up. Folding that knee over towards right shoulder. Now taking the option to either lower down straight away or pivot over for wild thing. How wild do you feel today? So as you pivot, ball of toe hits the outskirt of your mat, squeeze bottom to lift on up. So it's a counter stretch to pigeon. Good, looking over the top, swinging everything back around. Hands come back shoulder width apart, and let's lift it up to hook it, to stretch it all the way to three-legged dog, and lightly lower to downward facing dog. Well done, gang. Alright, so if you're just going to wait this one out, you come back to child's pose, or take a flow with me, shoulders to wrists. Exhale, melt the heart down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Good, exhale down. Have a little bit of a kip here now. We're going to stay, or don't fall asleep totally on me. So we're going to stay here. We're going to bend both our knees. And we're just going to align ourselves. So hands are going to come to the tops of our feet. And if it's possible, you're going to draw your heels in towards the bottom and get this glorious stretch through the quads. Of course, we can come on up, and I'm only going to offer this as an option if you wish to advance. If you feel you've had a very strong practice today, maybe you would just like to continue to push pubic bone down to floor and just make the most of the quality of this stretch through the quads. Otherwise, push feet away, rise on up as you come into that full bow. So you want to draw your knees together, your chest is open, your eye gaze comes through the space. Just a really nice emission of fire. Exhale, all the way down. And let's take advantage of this rest now. Arms come around. Focus your breath now. Maybe just land the forehead lightly. Or if you feel your neck needs a bit of release, you can just turn to one side and then marry it up, turning to the opposite side. It's all about balance. And then just coming back into your center. Feeling that little bit of sweet relief. Now we're going to draw the hands just underneath our shoulders, retucking the toes, pushing back to child's pose, allowing the hips now just to fall back onto those heels. Give one more opportunity to do just a strong pose before we start winding it back. So if you're someone who just feels this is good for me right now, you can actually take your arms just around the sides of your body, knuckles resting down, palms facing up. So you're just going to stay in just a very, very restorative child's pose. If you'd like to come with me for one more opportunity to put a little bit of work in the body, not too much, we're going to draw our body weight forwards. We are going to be stacking ourselves up to dolphin. And dolphin's not a difficult pose, it's like down dog, but the emphasis is on heart opening and upper back neck strength, opening that. So as you come down onto the elbows, you want to think like I'm in a plank position, so elbows to shoulders. Clasp your hands and you should see a little triangle. It's a very similar setup to if you were doing a headstand, but we're not doing headstand. We're just going to tuck our toes. And perhaps you now can push down into the earth with your elbows, making sure you free up the space across the upper back. And as you start to lift, you press back into the heels, almost like you were doing a down dog. Your heels may not ground, and that's totally okay. But you get this opportunity to draw your elbows away from one another. And last but not least, if you need to come down onto your knees and then re-attempt that, or some of you may like to lift your right leg high to sky, so keep the foot flexed for me and come to about the same height as your buttocks, not too high. It's not about emphasising any compression through lower back, or hyperextension I should say. And then lower that foot down, and then if you did one side, of course, you'd want to just replicate it on the other, so left leg would rise high, getting this amazing stretch to the upper back, keeping hips level and lowering it down slowly. Give it one last opportunity to press the heels into the earth and then lowering your knees completely as you then just release everything out. And I would say to you, now's a great chance to just let your arms fall back, knuckles resting down, palms also on facing up to the sky. You're leaving your little body's impression on the ground today. As we slowly move ourselves over onto our back, ever so gradually, just moving yourselves up, spinning the legs around. And as you come down onto your back, you're going to take a nice little stretch for the hamstring, but also the inner thighs. So I'd like you just to draw your right knee in towards your chest and make sure the lower back is down, tailbone's down, pulling it in. So you've got a good bend in your left knee, foot is planted, right leg goes high to sky, and then just drawing it back very carefully back towards you. So this is where we can take advantage. You know, you can stay in a hamstring stretch, it's totally okay. Or you can take your peace fingers around the right big toe, and you're just going to open left knee and right thigh. So it turns into an inner thigh stretch, a little bit of a hip opener, and of course we just get to then settle into the shoulder blades. Heart is open, breath is moving through unobstructed. And as we pull the leg, because we don't want to force it down, we're just giving it a little bit of pressure, of course. We're going to draw it back up to the sky, in which case we're going to swap the hand over. The right arm now comes down onto the floor, and then we're just going to take a nice little gentle pull across the body, stretching through the IT band. I don't want you to go too far with this one unless you're comfortable. You do a lot of classes with me, it could come all the way. But for most of you, about 30 degrees is good. Now we're catching the IT band. And those of you who can come all the way down, that's okay. Some of you might even still be able to hook your peace fingers around your right big toe. Of course, that is a very deep stretch, so we're just taking it as we feel we can, guided intuitively by your own body. Take a big breath in, big sigh out. See if you can widen that position a little bit out through that right arm, and then gently draw it back up to the sky. Hug the right leg towards you, just pull it back one more time. Fold the knee in, put it back neatly like it's going back in the box. So right foot comes onto the floor, right knee bent, left leg unravels, all the way up to the sky. So this nice hamstring stretch. The idea is to think I've got to equalize my weight. So push down into your tailbone. See if you can ground it a little bit more. If you want to go further now, you're either taking peace fingers around the big toe, or you can still do the same stretch with your hand in your inner leg if you can't reach the big toe. Right arm comes open, right knee falls open as well, and we get the best of both worlds. Feel that beautiful balance of yin and yang, right and left body. Inhale and exhale. If it starts to get a little much, just ease off. Breathing that leg up towards the sky. As now we switch that hand over, so right hand comes to outer left leg, and we're just going to fall completely over to the right side. Maybe you'll go to 30 degrees, that's enough. Maybe you can go further, or maybe you even need to bend your top leg as well as your bottom leg. Good work, everyone. Looks good from here. And just turn your head towards the extended arm. Get a little neck release at the same time. Slowly bring that leg back up top, so just shifting the energy. One last stretch for the hamstring. Pull it towards you. Bend the knee, fold it back down, and please take your feet together. Open the knees like the pages of the book. So we're just in a nice, relaxed butterfly pose. Just taking any edges off now. Hands, hips have been opened, bringing our thighs. We've opened our heart space. Done a lot in an hour, so please just release your legs down the length of your mat, arms by your sides, knuckles resting, palms facing up, and this allows you to be more in receptivity mode. So when your palms are facing up, it's like universal language. I am open to receiving more of what I need. Of course, if you need more grounding, you could place your hands down, or you can have them just resting on your belly. So you just go with what feels good for you today. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out just to start finding our center. Deep breath in through the nose, and allow that breath now, sensation of breath, to move all the way down your spine. And again, a deep breath in, and exhale all the way out. Beautiful entryway of breath through the nostrils. Exhale all the way out through the mouth. Just tune into the inner body, the inner world, the deepest part of you. days we feel a little fragmented in our energy. So I want you to feel that wholeness of your body. As you deeply breathe in, bringing all of you back into your center. What I mean by fragmented is sometimes we feel our energy can be scattered, we can be giving to so many different things, people, commitments, that we feel really stretched. So all you can ask of yourself is to bring those fragmented parts of you back home. There's always a peaceful space for those unloved parts, or sometimes those parts of you that you've neglected for a while. Maybe those inner wounds, those parts of us that we put away, sometimes suppress. Just bring yourself back into that place that resides within your heart, that sovereignty of who you are. Deeply breathing. And as you exhale, just feel that sense of oneness, the breath, the heart beating rhythmically, tuning into your heart, the core of who you are, where we feel everything. Which is why in yoga, when we do a lot of heart opening exercises, we essentially allow ourselves to be open, not giving, but also knowing when we also have to bring back to ourselves and fill ourselves up with our own sense of love, appreciation, and acceptance for where we're at. Deeply breathe in, flood your body with that breath, that cleansing breath, providing you with that lifeless energy. It washes away anything that's non-serving, and it allows you to come back into peace and balance, even just for a moment out of your day, where those fragmented parts of you know that they have a place to go home to. Start to feel your body become heavier, your mind clearer, and your heart more open. Bringing yourself back into the room, into your body. I want you just to lightly pick up your right hand and place your right hand on your heart. Just feeling into the beat of your heart and your left hand on your belly. A little bit of self-nurturance today, so just take a deep breath in. So your heart is where you express all of your emotions, and your belly is where you feel the deep into your stomach, which is sometimes why our digestion often is playing up whenever we're feeling a little anxious. So take a deep breath in, just give back to yourself now, deep breath out, as you feel as if you have come home, all those fragmented parts of yourself. Safe, secure home. And then draw your knees in one at a time. And then with those arms, or those hands, just wrap them around your knees and just rocking gently side to side until you feel comfortable. Your back is warmed up a little, got a little airflow. Draw your knees to your right side, keep your eyes closed, and in your most unhurried approach, just press the floor away. Come on up into an uplifted posture. Shoulders drop away from the ears, climb high into your spine. Just feel that freedom of breath moving in through the nose, and that direct pathway out through your mouth. And once again, place right hand to heart, left hand to belly. Take a deep breath in, feel it expand. As you breathe out, I just want you to settle in, just surrender in that moment, being totally present in your body. And again, open. We all need more connection, and the only way we connect more with others is when we connect first to ourselves. A deep breath in, come into that full acceptance, and exhale out. Good, take a deeper breath in, circle your arms all the way overhead, bringing everything back as one. So palms press at the top, and lightly lower, all the way to the heart. And in deep honour and gratitude for oneself and one another for our practice today, we say, Namaste. And then just open your eyes. And welcome back. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your week. Look forward to seeing you on Thursday if you're here at night for yoga with me. And then I'll see you again next Monday. So still going with the flow of that. So if you're wondering how long I'll be doing it, as long as they need me. So have a beautiful week. I'll see you next time.